What is up, YouTube? My name is Jonathan Main, coming to you for your first installment of Main Gang Fitness. I'm here to talk to you about what 90% of us are thinking of. It's New Year's Eve, and come New Year's Day, I plan on losing weight. I want to get in shape, just like all of us. The problem is, none of us have a plan going into this. We've only talked about how we're going to lose weight. That's all good and stuff, but if we do not have a plan in place, there's no way that we can succeed. It's easy to go on YouTube or go to bodybuilding.com and look up all these athletes and people that train non-stop. They've been doing it for multiple years, 10 years, 15 years. They have great physiques, there's no doubt. It could be a man or a woman that you follow and get inspiration from. The problem is, we don't see many people where they're just starting out on their fitness journey. The average Joe. These people that have been doing it for a while, they don't know the struggles that you may be going through. They may have started when they were younger and they didn't have as much of the responsibilities that, as you get older and you're in your adult years now, you got a full-time job, family, kids. All of these things can weigh down and create some type of issue where it's a distraction in what your final goal is in weight loss. With this channel, I want to take you on what my journey is going to be from an average household guy that has a family, 2 kids on the way, and what I need to do to sit there to accomplish the goals I'm looking for. It's very difficult when you have a family and you have a full-time job to sit there and dedicate all the time you need to going to the gym and to following a diet. You want to have meals with your family. In this channel, I hope to show you different meal ideas that you can share with your family and ways that we can prepare our food through the week, whether you travel, you work nights. We all have different situations and things that come up that cause issues. So in this YouTube channel, I plan on showing you my journey and what I'm going through on a month-to-month basis and breaking it down from maybe grocery hauls, meal prep videos, things of that sort to help you on your journey as well. To give you a better idea of where my journey started, I was in my first year of college when I went off and stayed in the dorm room. I had no idea of what responsibility was at the time. I used college as a means of slacking off and a time just to play video games nonstop. I would literally sit in my dorm room 90% of the time, skip my classes, play video games, eat fried food 45 times a day. At midnight, I would go and get fried chicken fingers and ice cream every night. It was like religious to do that. If I missed that, I would feel awkward. I would feel weird. It got to the point where by the end of the year, I was doing terrible in school. I had very little of a social life, besides because of just playing all the video games and then, on the weekends going out partying and drinking too. But from there, I didn't put on the freshman 15. I straight up put on the freshman 50. I went from 225 to 275 in a matter of 2 semesters. It is absolutely fascinating to think that you can put that much weight on that fast, but I did it. It could be genetics, it could be just the sheer amount of food and volume I was eating. So at that point, I found out that, going away to school, I didn't have the responsibility yet. I was just kind of burning through money. It wasn't the best idea for me. So I came back home and went to a community college and continued my schooling through there. My brother was playing high school football at the time. He's a big guy, 6'7". He was 250 in his junior year. Wanted to play the offensive line. His coaches said that he wasn't big enough yet weight-wise, so he was on a bulking diet. He had to straight up put on more weight. And when he was putting more weight on, I thought it was a great time for me to eat with him. There was times when he was bulking up and trying to gain more weight. We would sit there and watch Sunday football, and we'd go to McDonald's. I'd eat 20 nuggets, 2 McDoubles, a large fry, 2 apple pies, and 1 large Coke. That would literally be close to 3,000 calories, over 100 grams of fat, an absolute crap ton of carbs. It was kind of phenomenal that I could actually put that away for one meal. That didn't include eating dinner, the snacks in between while watching football, all the other garbage crap that we'd be eating throughout the day. And this was a weekly thing we'd be doing. So at that point, the 275 weight I was at when I left school went up to 295. At that point, once I knew none of my clothes fit anymore, and I was going shopping, not because I wanted new clothes, but for the fact that none of my clothes fit, made me realize that it was time to make a change. So I would go up to the rec center. I didn't know what I was doing up there. I knew I didn't like to work out, that was for sure. I thought everyone was looking at me, judging me, making fun of me. So I would sit there and I'd just shoot around in the rec center playing basketball. Basketball was a great outlet. If you wanted to, you could just shoot around by yourself, play 3-on-3. No big deal. Didn't really need too much of a physical thing to do. It fit me because playing half court wasn't that bad. It came a day when someone asked me to go ahead and play full court with them. They needed an extra guy. I went ahead and played, and I struggled to keep up running up and down the court. I enjoyed playing basketball, so I kept doing it. I'd go up there the next day, play again. After a couple of weeks of doing this, I noticed that my clothes were fitting better. I kept playing for about 6 months, and then the next thing I knew, I was down to about 250. I lost 45 pounds by playing basketball, not changing my diet, but just playing basketball and doing the physical activity of running up and down the court. From there, it made me realize that I was on to something. So at that point, I joined paramedic school and I went into firefighting. I knew I was gonna have to get stronger to be in firefighting because I'm gonna have to carry, all the equipment around and be able to go up and down ladders with, all the equipment. It was gonna be a physical challenge. So I decided to start lifting weights. When I was lifting weights, I had no clue what I was doing. I would learn from what my brother knew when he was playing football. And from there, I just kind of implemented and kind of did more research on my own. I got stronger. I lost a little bit more weight with a little bit better of a diet just by watching what I was eating, cutting some basic things out like pop, not eating as much of what I enjoyed. At that point, I got down to 230 and I felt great. Then some personal issues came up in my life and working out went right out the window. I eventually maintained my weight without working out just by watching what I was eating, and then decided that I was going to get into just starving myself. And I was so obsessed with losing weight and becoming just thin and not having a gut that I literally would eat one meal a day and some garbage filler foods throughout the day to lose weight. And when you go into such a caloric deficit, you do lose a lot of weight, and it's pretty incredible how fast you lose that weight. I went from 230 down to about 180 in less than a year just by eating like that. All the weight training that I did, all the muscle mass was gone. I still had a gut, even though I lost those 50 pounds. It didn't matter. I still looked the same, just a smaller frame of myself. And even then, I didn't feel good about myself and who I was. So I figured at that point, I was gonna start running. Running was great in the fact that it taught me a lot of things that I didn't know about myself. I told myself I was going to go ahead and run a half marathon. And then when people told me, you have never ran before, how are you going to run a half marathon? I was so annoyed with those people that I'm like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and run a full marathon. And at that point, I just put the pressure on myself to do it. I had great training from one of my friends to sit there and push me through it and give me everything I needed in 3 months to get ready. I did eventually go ahead and run the marathon in 3 hours and 38 minutes. It was one of the best accomplishments of my life. I never felt more proud at the time. But when I was running, I noticed one thing was happening. I started gaining more weight because I was always hungry from all the running and the caloric needs I needed to keep up with those runs. So I learned a lot from running, and the fact that it pushed me to my limits when I didn't think I could actually go ahead and finish something like that. 26 miles is an incredible feat. Your body is always sitting there telling you that you need to stop and you can't do it. And it's really just a mental game of, can you push yourself through something like that? From there, I started to get some hip problems, and running started to become a realization that it might not be for me. So I had to find out another way to sit there and go ahead and get into better shape. I joined a local gym about 9 months ago. I started lifting some weights haphazardly, just doing this, doing that. Nothing with a real plan in mind. I ended up seeing some results in the fact that I would end up getting stronger. In the beginning, you can get some great strength gains. Just kind of grows right from the beginning, and it's very satisfying to see yourself go from one thing on the bench or whatever you may be doing in curls or lat pull down. I mean, it's almost like running in the fact where you get a new PR. You have the ability to get a new PR when you're lifting almost every time. You can push yourself to those limits. That's what turned into my fascination and obsession with working out. I started to follow a diet plan. I was going to follow a certain amount of macros when it came to proteins, carbs, and fats. And it started working out. I would follow it through the week, Monday through Thursday. Friday would hit, and then I would just give up on my diet. I would straight up give up. I'd start drinking, and I would eat fried food and do whatever I wanted. Not just Friday, it would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nonstop. And then from there, 3 days of eating bad, I would just devastate my diet. All the work I did Monday through Thursday was gone. There was literally no point to it. So I was in this plateau stage of, I would lose some weight, I'd go to the weekend, and then I'd just kind of gain it back, or I just kind of balance out. So coming up here in the next couple months here, I really want to sit here and make a dedication to sit there and say, it's a new year. I know it's cliche to say, here we are at the new year, I'm going to lose weight. But I want to go ahead and say, new year, I'm literally going to go ahead and use this channel to help you keep me accountable for my weight loss journey. And I hope on the end of the time that we go through this journey, that there is some point where it inspires some other people to go ahead and work out. I'm not saying I have all the best answers when it comes to working out for fitness and all that. I'm going to use what I've learned from my brother, from myself, my own experiences, asking other people what works, and the research I've done. I think in the end, with the dedication and having you guys help keep me accountable, that there will be success. I'm going to do weekly check-ins when it comes to showing you what my physique looks like. I know it's classic to say you got the dad bod and stuff like that, and that's always the thing going on right now. But I think that's like kind of a piss poor excuse for people that just want an excuse to sit there and kind of give up on what their physique should look like. I'm not saying I want to get to the point of being completely shredded to looking like The Rock or something like that, even though people like that are an inspiration to some of us. I want to feel comfortable when it comes to going to the pool, going to take my shirt off in public and not feeling embarrassed about what I have underneath. I want to have, for the first time in 32 years of my life, to sit there and have some ab definition and overall good muscle definition. I think with dedication throughout the year that it is very plausible to do this. And I'm looking forward to going through that journey with you guys. Now, to give you guys a better understanding of what we're going to need when we come to caloric intake, I want to start breaking this down and then eventually get into another meal prep video of how we're actually going about that. So here it is. We need to figure out what our total daily energy expenditure is. There's a website you can go to. You go ahead, you plug in your height, your weight, your age. It goes ahead and tells you what you should expect to have for calories per day. If we go into the total daily energy expenditure and we look at the basal metabolic rate, this rate would be, if we were to sit there and lay around, we wouldn't do anything physical at all, like we were literally on bed rest. That was the amount of calories we would need to maintain the weight we're at. A sedentary lifestyle would be you barely do anything. You get up to go to the bathroom, you might walk to go to bed, and you get up to get yourself some food. You breathe, you eat, you really don't do much. I'm gonna go ahead and look at myself as being under the light exercise because I want to make sure that I'm getting enough calories in, but I also want to make sure that I'm in a calorie deficit to lose weight. So looking at where I'm at for calorie deficit or for light exercise would put me right around the 2,700 calorie mark. If I look at taking about 500 calories off per day, putting me at a 2,200 calorie input, that would leave me at 3,500 calorie deficit for the week. That should equal out to 1 pound a week in fat loss. 3,500 calories is a pound, so 3,500 calorie deficit would end up leaving me in a position to lose a pound a week, which seems about a good pace without driving myself nuts. We don't want to starve ourselves to the point where we're sitting there thinking, I'm going to go ahead and eat some chips, I'm going to do this, because that's the easy way to get yourself into trouble. If we don't eat enough, we will quit this diet, we will not be able to focus and continue to do well on it. I'm going to go ahead and link the total daily energy expenditure in the comments below, where you can go ahead and plug that in yourself to figure out where you need to be. The most important thing you can do is to be honest with yourself. It's not to cheat your weight and put it in there so you get to eat more. We're really doing this so we can go ahead and sit there and figure out where we need to be to have success. So with that being said, it's more important for us to break down what each gram of the 3 macros that we'll be focusing on are. And when we look at grams, 1 gram of protein, 1 gram of fat, 1 gram of carbs. When it comes to essential macros, protein is probably going to be our most important, followed up with fats. Carbs are kind of like not a necessity, but help give us energy throughout the day. Protein will help us build muscle, and healthy fats will help keep our... There's 3 macros that we're going to focus on. There's proteins, fats, and carbs. Proteins are going to be our highest intake. They're going to help us build muscle, and they're going to help recovery from the muscle that we're going to be breaking down. Carbs are going to help give us the energy and energy levels that we need to maintain workouts and stuff like that. Even though they're not a necessity, we're going to make sure that we eat good carbs when it comes to complex carbs after workouts or not after workouts. There's 3 macros that we're going to focus on. There's proteins, there's fats, there's carbs. Proteins will help us recover and build muscle that we're going to break down in our workouts. Carbs are going to sit there and help give us some energy through our workouts and throughout the day, so we're not feeling depleted. There's going to be essential fats that we're going to eat that are going to help regulate the fats in our body and get the essential fats that we need instead of just piling in McDonald's and all the garbage fat. 1 gram of protein is equivalent to 4 calories. 1 gram of carb is equivalent to 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is equivalent to 9. So to break that down and to figure out what we need to essentially be where we're at, I went ahead and did something around 43-44% I'm going to be eating is going to be in protein. I'm going to eat about 33% in carbs, and 22% of my diet is going to come from fats. So I'm looking at about 235 grams of protein, maybe 100, 180, 185, maybe a little higher on the carbs, and about 55 grams to 60 grams of fat per day. That'll keep us within our calorie restrictions, because I know there's people that are like, well, you gotta watch calories, you gotta count calories. Follow the macros, and if we eat clean, eating clean is going to lead to us falling within our proper macros that we need to hit. You're gonna feel more than full by eating and following the plan. We're gonna be eating 3 major meals a day, followed with 2 snacks. You'll have your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. We're gonna go ahead and have a snack of something maybe like Greek yogurt or low-fat cottage cheese, along with maybe a protein shake after working out. There might be a time when we first start that we feel like maybe we're eating too much, but after working out and building that appetite and building the muscle that we need to sit there and start losing fat, we're going to wake up feeling that we need those calories, and we're gonna want to eat all that food. On top of following the macros, another important thing that we're going to need to do is follow a good hydration regimen. We want to try to drink a gallon of water a day. I don't care if you're a male, female, a gallon of water isn't really as much as you think. When I first started out drinking a gallon of water, I was like, this is a lot. I literally have to force myself to drink this. After about a week of doing it, I got through drinking a gallon of water before halfway through the day. It was just done. And then I found myself becoming more thirsty. And you're sitting there thinking, I want to bloat up and put on all this water weight. That's not necessarily true. You're going to flush out all the sodium, all the toxins in your body. It's going to help lubricate your joints. You're going to feel better. Drinking all the water is going to make you feel more awake. One downside is, when you first start, you're going to have to go to the bathroom a lot. And by a lot, I mean like every 20 minutes. It's kind of frustrating. You'll be like at work, sitting there, drinking your water, all is good, and you got to go to the bathroom. You'll do your work and you're getting into a routine and you're going back to the bathroom. It's nonstop at first. Your body will adjust and get used to it. And it's only a matter of taking time. Pretty soon you'll probably find yourself drinking a gallon and a half, maybe even 2 gallons a day. I hope you enjoyed this first video. This is a basic introduction of who I am and what my goal is with this channel. Take you on this weight loss journey from a person that's average to help getting them in shape, and to help inspire people that have the same physique to sit there and be like, I'm gonna go on this journey with him. I can do this. If he's doing it, I'm doing it. I got someone to reach out to and follow. So I hope with the upcoming videos, we can go over recipe videos, grocery hauls, things like that, different workouts and what's working, different tips that I've learned while working out. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to comment below and subscribe.